Hi guys. I thought I'd take some time out. Um, quite late, it's just gone midnight here. Um, on the now 28th of March. Um, in the process of moving, and I just took a glance at YouTube, and one of my favorite subscribers, sorry, one of my favorite guys I like to watch, sorry, YouTubers I like to watch, um, Mr Parkin, done a video about whether The Rock, he feels whether The Rock is losing his novelty. Um, so I had to do it. I had to do it. I had to do a response. Nothing rude or anything against Mr. Parkin, but I really appreciate my response to that. Um, so here it is. One of my favorite films when I was about 8 years old was Tremors. I loved everything about it. Like, it ticked all the buttons for me, just as a film which was exciting, one that which was just had you on the edge of your seat, one which, um, film which I felt at the time had funny acting. It was everything I liked about a film. Um, and it was a film I grew up with. For anyone who knows the UK, I don't know about the States, but I know in the UK, that Tremors was the type of film that you would see in the early hours, like around 11 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, BBC One wanted to play it, then we'd watch it. You know, watching that film these days, you can pick some holes in it. It's not as good as you originally thought it was. Another one of my favorite games from back in the day, things from back in the day, sorry, was a game called Double Dragon. I loved everything about that game. Anyone who's old school, who's probably about 25 plus, will remember a Sega Master System. Forget your PS3s, your Xboxes, and all that mess. It was all about the Sega Master System back in the day. And one of the best games on the Sega Master System was Double Dragon. I loved everything about it. Playing it, and I actually found the working Sega Master System with a working Double Dragon game. I played it 1 month ago, and it was like, what the fuck is this? Like, it just happens. Um, I my worry, and I've mentioned this in previous videos I've done. My worry for the rock coming back was exactly this. I think, and I always thought this. He had to come back. This is where wrestling was where he was known, or was where he was recognized. Is where his family originally was from. This is his blood, like he says. He had to come back. The problem is that he left it for so long, and unfortunately, time moved on. I've always thought this. I'm a rock guy, so if I see a video that is constructively put together, like Mr. Parkin's here, then I'm going to try and respond to it because I'm always going to defend the rock. Call me a rock mark, I don't give a shit. Um, in this particular instance, I would agree with you, but only to a certain degree. Um, I wouldn't go as far as to say The Rock is a one-dimensional character. Um, one thing I will always say is this: Rock's time fit the Attitude Era. Rock's character doesn't fit this PG stuff because for me personally, I've always thought The Rock was a better heel. As weird as it sounds, for me to say that, and I recognize that Rock is one of the most biggest successful baby faces there's ever been in the business. I've always felt like his character works better as a heel, because if he's gonna work as a baby face, he needs to work as an edgy baby face. And the problem is that in this day and age, where you're working to such appeal to such a watered down product, that there's only so much edgy you can be. Like, don't don't get it twisted. Just because you hear Rock say things like ass and candy ass and bitch and things like that every now and again, in general, is a much watered down version from what you were used to. So similar to how I described my previous examples of tremors, for example, using that as an example, because you remember Rock one way doesn't necessarily mean he's still going to be the same way today. I mean, the only way it differs from my example is that I'm watching the exact same film. I'm just older. I have a better understanding of what is a good actor and what is a bad actor, what is a good film and what is a bad film. I can critique films a lot better. Whereas in this particular example, Rock is still the same guy, but first of all, he's a little older, so his wrestling is not going to be what it was 10 years ago. He's in a sort of era that tries to restrain people as much as possible, because whether you want to agree with them or not, and I'm one of the people who don't, they try to appeal as much as possible to a family demographic. So there is only so much ass and bitch and things like that you can put in the product. The state of the business is a lot worse than it was when Rock was in it. You had more characters to work off. You had more ways of being able to kind of contrast and compare your character to. And I mean, in today's day and age, Rock has been back, technically, whether part-time or not, he's been back for 2 years. And yet, he's only feuded with John Cena and CM Punk and Miz for a hot minute. I mean, that's the difference. Whereas Rock was when Rock was feuding before, when he came back and even when he was part time before and he was a heel, he was feuding with the likes of your Hulk Hogan's, your Goldbergs, your Stone Colds, fuck it, even to a lesser degree, your Hurricanes. I mean, let's be honest, Hurricane is a better character than most of the cast on there now. I mean, that's the difference. It does make a difference, because when you want to critique a character, you tend to compare it to what's already there, and I think people forget that. So I don't necessarily think he's doing much wrong. I think it was a mistake to give him the title. As weird as it sounds for Rock Mark to say that. For a novelty idea, I agree with it. I still do, but you should know what sort of schedule Rock has. He's not going to be able to make it there all the time. You know, he wasn't at Raw last week because he was in London. He was here because even when he was promoting his movie, you can understand that he can't always be here. But if that's the case, don't put the strap on someone that's not going to be there, even if it is WrestleMania season. So I don't necessarily think Rock's novelty is gone. I just think it's a reflection of the business today. Um, we are more of a critical audience. The quality of product is very poor, and simply put, we've all grown up. You know, just like my Tremors example or my Double Dragon example, you know, we're not 13, 14-year-olds that used to mark out and stuff. You know, I would love The Rock. I even quite like him as an actor. I think he's one of the better big guy action actors. I really do. I actually really like him as an actor. And that's taken The Rock mark out of the equation. I actually really like him as an actor. I just think that it's not to say that his novelty is gone. I think would be a mistake. I don't think that's anything to do with that. I just think we've all grown up and we understand that we're kind of pining for something that is essentially dead. I think a lot of people expected when The Rock was to come back that we would have the Attitude Era back because this is one of the main faces of the Attitude Era, and that will never happen. You know, you bring Stone Cold back, put the strap on him every week, the novelty that you refer to will also resurrect. Of course it will. When Stone Cold had his mini run about 3 4 years ago, people were a bit like, and don't try and tell me that that wasn't the case because I know that was the case. It does work. So I just had to respond, and like I said, it's not even a war thing. I respect Mr Parkin. I actually enjoy um, his videos. Um, I just felt like I had to respond to that. So I don't think it was fair. I don't think it's necessarily a novelty thing. I think it's more of a reflection on the times, a reflection of the business, that no one man can give us the attitude or give us what we once had. No one man can give me the same enjoyment that I had from Double J, that I had from Travis. So I'm off to get some sleep because it's still school night for me. By school night, I mean I need to get my ass up